So, in our last episode, we covered inflation and explained how it's a lot higher than was officially reported, and how the massive spending and monetary expansionist policies pursued by the White House and the Fed contributed to rising prices and a devalued dollar. So, it's interesting today to see the White House Twitter make one of the most ridiculous posts I've seen in a while. The post said, quote, "Planning a cookout this year? Catch up on the news. According to the Farm Bureau, the cost of a 4th of July barbecue is down from last year. It's a fact you must hear. Hot dog, the Biden economic plan is working, and that's something that we can all relish," end quote. And then the tweet said that the cost of a 4th of July cookout is down 16 cents, a whole 16 cents since last year. So obviously this tweet is as funny and clever as an episode of The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, which is to say it's not funny or clever at all. By the way, one of the great mysteries in life I've always wondered is how the hell does Trevor Noah have a job? My 75-year-old Persian grandmother has a better sense of humor than Trevor Noah, and I haven't seen her laugh since 1997, but I digress. Aside from the White House tweet being ridiculous, it's also very misleading. Like our president himself, it's absolutely demented to say that the current economic plan is working. As we discussed last week, if we were using the more realistic CPI measure that was around up until 1980, the true inflation rate is about 10 to 12%. But even if you use the current whitewashed CPI formula, the inflation rate is the highest it's been in 13 years. This year, various commodities reached record highs. Home prices went up 13% nationally. The in-demand cities that people want to live in, like Miami, for instance, saw a 35% increase in home prices, while average Austin home prices increased about 31%. The price of an average new car is up almost 10%. And as for used cars, there were 11 brands, including Ford and Toyota, which experienced over 30% increase in price. Even keeping the lights on or using air conditioner is on average more expensive this year than it's been at any time over the last decade. And I'm sure energy costs will certainly be worse as the current administration seeks to degrade the US fossil fuel industry. And even if you wanted to just stick to food items, this idea that Grandpa Simpson's economic plan is working and bringing costs down is a complete fabrication. As everyone who has been paying attention or, goes to a supermarket or a restaurant knows, food items have become a lot more expensive. 86% of Americans, for example, have reported in a poll that the cost of food has increased. If we're talking about 4th of July barbecues, then you got to mention frankfurters, you got to mention hot dogs, the most quintessential 4th of July food item. And the White House, actually, they referenced hot dogs in their tweet, but they conspicuously left it out in their analysis of saving you 16 cents. The reason for that is probably because frankfurters, like almost everything else, have substantially increased in price. They're actually the highest price recorded in the last decade. So yes, this is a dumb tweet, but it's part of a pattern and practice that we've been seeing a lot recently, to force you to believe the propaganda spewed by your overlords instead of your damn lying eyes. If they actually cared about making things easier for ordinary working people, you wouldn't destroy their purchasing power and wages by pursuing a multi-trillion-dollar spending program. And you wouldn't have spent the last year and a half driving millions of people out of work, shutting down their businesses, by these unjustifiable COVID lockdowns. And by the way, doing all that while you have completely wide open borders and exacerbate the racial divisions of the country. So this year, how about we try something different? Instead of talking 24/7 about how evil and systematically racist and white supremacist the United States is, maybe we can reflect on how lucky we are to live in this country. A country that's apparently so good that millions of black and brown people choose to come here every year, even if it means risking their own lives. Why don't we express gratitude For the country responsible for every significant medical and technological advancement in virtually the last 150 years? Why don't we reflect on the fact that the free world, for example, wouldn't exist, literally wouldn't exist. It would have been subsumed long ago by totalitarianism in the form of fascism or Nazism or communism or a caliphate if it weren't for the US. Do you think like Sweden or Canada would have stopped the Soviet Union or the CCP or Hitler or ISIS? Yeah, I don't think so. So even if you're not American, you should be thankful for everything America has done. And if you are American, I hope that all of you have a wonderful, amazing 4th of July holiday with your family and loved ones. And, hopefully one day we will again have leaders who can do more than brag about the 16 cents they just saved you on pork chops. Happy 4th of July, everyone.